Thanks for watching KXNW 34.
And welcome and thanks for watching on this Veterans Day. I'm Doug Warner.
And I'm Sonia Hill. This Veterans Day, we are highlighting the voices of local heroes who fought and made sacrifices for our freedom. And when you think about Veterans Day, normally we think about the hometown heroes, but not here in Northwest Arkansas. One 94-year-old veteran is more than just a World War II veteran. She's a living testament to the power of the human spirit, from witnessing the terrifying march of Hitler's troops into her hometown to risking everything in the name of freedom.
So when I see the movies, I think it was much worse than I thought. Then I got through it.
At 94 years old, Basha Berner stands as a living testament to bravery and resilience, having played a crucial role in the Polish resistance during World War II. Born in Poland in 1930, Basha was a young child when the Second World War broke out in 1939. She vividly recalls witnessing Hitler and his army march into her city, an indelible moment forever etched in her memory.
I saw this marching people with weapons, with arms, one by one, big German guys, you know. I saw him standing there, and that was maybe the worst moment for me, because finally we understood that we are completely overcome.
As the Nazi occupation intensified, she became involved in the underground movement. By the time she was 14, Basha joined the ranks of the Polish Resistance Home Army.
August 1st came, we started our uprising. So I was sworn already to the army, and then since then I was legitimate.
During the Polish uprising of 1944, Berner's extraordinary bravery shone as she risked her life to carry crucial messages, provide medical aid to wounded fighters, and assisted with food distribution during a time of widespread scarcity and suffering.
During the time there was a bombing all the time. We didn't have any food, any water to drink.
Eventually the war ended, but as the Germans left, the Russians moved in.
And then started again, you know. They destroyed our Gdańsk, Danzig. Beautiful, old town, everything. They just destroyed without any reason. There was no Germans, no anybody left.
Her commitment to the cause was unwavering, and she remained heavily involved in the decades that followed the war.
I was there very active on this solidarity. I was sitting in the room when we were negotiating with so-called government.
Poland would remain under Soviet control until 1993. But in 1981, Berner emigrated to the United States as a political refugee. Here, she built a life while keeping the memories of her past alive.
AK, that means Home Army, Armia Krajowa, and this is Poland Fight.
Her courageous service as a member of the Polish resistance played a vital role in the fight against Nazi oppression during that dark chapter in history. Berner's remarkable journey has not gone unnoticed. She has received numerous awards in recognition of her contributions to the resistance, including a Medal of Honor from Polish President Duda. Now she is recognized by her community for her service to the world and her tireless efforts to educate others about the vital importance of understanding our history.
We have to show to other people something, what they like me, like other veterans, that they should learn history because, you know, like Winston Churchill said, the country who doesn't know the history has no future.
She truly is a remarkable woman. Well, Basha has lived in Bella Vista since 2007. She's a practicing massage therapist. She takes classes at NWAC, and from April to November, she exercises daily by swimming in the lake.
Well, many in our community are taking a closer look at how VA loans can impact our housing market and veterans. Late last month, the Home Builders Association at Fort Smith hosted a class to empower local builders with essential knowledge of VA loans and benefits. The association says it's all about helping our local heroes build their dreams and futures, and seeing that VA loans aren't as scary and intimidating as they seem to some.
They have sacrificed so much for us to guarantee our freedoms, to guarantee the red, white, and blue, and to guarantee our Constitution that, we want to do all we can to make sure that they can have an adequate home that they love, that they feel safe in, that they feel comfortable in, and they can be proud of because we're proud of them.
And the class is one of the many association plans to hold in the future. Well, the sacrifice and bravery of a local veteran being honored by the River Valley community. This summer, Senator John Boozman presented a Purple Heart to Staff Sergeant Gregory Smith. Now, Smith was injured during a bombing at Al-Assad Air Base in Iraq back in 2020. Boozman's office worked with Smith and his family to obtain the documents and evidence necessary to formally request a Purple Heart evaluation. And after a lengthy process, the medal was authorized. In addition to serving our country, Smith also serves our community as a trooper with the Arkansas State Police. 80 years ago this summer, the greatest generation proved that democracy triumphs over tyranny. Coming up, we'll hear from an Arkansas vet who's looking back on his service during D-Day. Plus,
and when I die, I want somebody to be able to remember Bo and tell his stories and help other people.
A local woman is making sure her son's service lives on. We'll show you how when we come back.
Welcome back. 14 years ago, a local Army veteran found himself on the road with a mission in mind. He wanted to make an impact in the lives of disabled veterans, but his dreams of making a difference were cut short when he was killed in a car accident.
And through the heartache, his mother, Janie Lane, made his mission a reality. Bo's Blessings is a local organization that supports and helps our local heroes with everything, from buying them groceries to organizing funerals for veterans who were almost forgotten. Our Gabriella Phelan talked with Janie recently about the impact Bo's Blessings and her son are still making on our community.
When he was in basic training, I wrote him a letter every day. He kept all those letters.
Janie Lane, a loving and fiercely proud mother to her one and only son, Bo.
And that's Smoke and Bo in Iraq. Then later it was like, Mom, they call me a mother's boy, a mama's boy. I said, well, you are.
Easter weekend back in 2010, Bo and his wife, Lori, were on the road helping a veteran in need.
Easter was always one of my favorite times of the year. We all came together as a family. Bo always was the Easter bunny at church, and he was 6'2", and he'd wear this Easter bunny costume and carry a plastic carrot, and just it was fun, and we were looking forward to that.
But suddenly, Janie's world came to a halt.
Lori's stepmother called me and said, I guess you heard Bo and Lori were killed. I didn't know, and I started screaming.
Bringing both Janie and her late husband to their knees, pleading with God.
I can remember curled up in the fetal position, wailing. My husband fell on his knees and face down on the floor and asked God to take this burden off, take it off of Bo and give it to him. He offered his life up for Bo's.
An outcome she couldn't accept, one that left her feeling empty and without purpose.
All of the joy, I'm a woman of faith, and all of my godly joy left my soul. And I honestly understand how people die in the moment.
3 years later, that same God gave her direction.
I was surviving but not living, and I didn't know what to do with my grief. And, you hear people say, well, God talked to me. Well, he does. If you listen, you can hear. And it was something put on my heart that in order to move past my grief, I needed to help others.
Creating Bo's Blessings in honor of her son. It's an organization that helps and supports Northwest Arkansas veterans like Bill Eilers.
Back in 1976, I found the calling. I was only 17 years old and I enlisted. There's people that have done much more heroic things. I just was one of many that raised my hand and said, I'll serve.
An Army veteran from Minnesota who found himself struggling with his physical and mental health, which he says only got worse when he moved to Northwest Arkansas.
I had an open heart surgery that went bad, and I had a quintuple bypass, and 4 of the 5 bypass grafts went down. And I had about 8 surgeries afterwards. I've about 19 or 20 stents placed in me. And then my eyesight failed. I went blind in one eye, and the other one's going. I'm losing my hearing.
Eilers says Jani Lane and Bo's Blessing soon found him and saw the pain he was going through.
I just wanted to crawl under a rock and die. It was truly a godsend to have somebody see me for my hurting. And I feel so blessed to have had her put her eyes on me and say, hey, life's not over. It's not over till it's over.
Bo's Blessings has given Eilers a sense of belonging, allowing him to find peace and support even through his creative outlets.
So I've started writing some of my own songs. And what I like to write about is either my own experiences or what's in my heart. And what's in my heart is when I see heroes like Bo and other people who've gone off to war and they've given their lives for our freedom. I think it's really important that we remember that it's a privilege to be in this country.
Eilers says he still has to work to pay off his medical bills, but once he retires, he plans to be a part of the Bo's Blessings team, helping other veterans just like him. Jani says the stories of lives being changed thanks to Bo's vision is part of what keeps her going.
There are hard days. There are very hard days, and I call it my season of grief.
And of course, her faith and Bo's presence that's still alive and well in the organization.
I always wondered if he lived long enough to recognize how much I loved him, and I feel like he did.
If he were sitting with us today, what would you say to him?
I love you. I love you so much, and I'm so proud of the man you grew up to be. And I am so thankful that I know where you are and that you lived a life for God. Thank you for that. That's what I'd say.
That was our Gabriella Phelan reporting. You too can take part in Bo's Blessings. It has opportunities for the community to serve throughout the year, like headstone cleanings and Christmas wreath layings at the Fayetteville National Cemetery, and all are welcome to join.
An Arkansas veteran recently visited the beaches he fought on. After the break, we'll hear from him as he recalls his first visit back to Normandy since serving in World War II 80 years ago. Well, this National Veterans and Military Families Month, we are getting to know an Arkansas veteran. William Toombs is recounting a special trip he took with other veterans back in June to the beaches of Normandy for the 80th anniversary of D-Day.
Our Tylisa Hampton caught up with him on what the journey means to him.
Good morning.
Full of spirit at 100 years old, World War II veteran William Toombs made a visit of a lifetime.
It was one of the greatest trips I ever made.
This year marked the 80th anniversary of D-Day. William, one of 50 veterans flying back to French soil.
We lost so many men, it's unbelievable.
At 18, William enlisted into the Air Corps on October 31st, 1942.
But we were just kids.
Serving as a flight engineer, his first mission was D-Day.
And we was to bomb a rail yard. We didn't see the target that day. We had to bring our bombs back.
But that was not the only thing that did not go as planned.
We lost 2 airplanes that day, not by combat, but they had a collision in midair. We lost 20 men.
Sharing their story with the others.
I love them.
The highlight, traveling back in time with every conversation.
Every man there had a story.
A bit of healing and smiles captured.
People had turned out by the thousands. We had a parade every day.
After D-Day, William served in 28 missions. One fight standing out.
After I'd been shot down, well, that'll certainly give you the willies.
Although William does not consider himself a hero, many others in medals do.
I didn't do anything that we didn't have to do. I wasn't in the war because I wanted to be there. I was in the war because my country asked me to be there.
That was our Tylisa Hampton. Toombs says that he hopes the younger generation will recognize the service and sacrifice of veterans and not take it for granted. Well, you may want to stay with us. We'll be right back. A university in Benton County for veterans is helping veterans by providing a sense of normalcy after their service. The University of Health and Performance was created by veterans for veterans. It's an incredible effort to help our veterans create their own path, especially for those whose sole focus over the years has been completing their military mission. Our Kylie Neal recently spent the day on their growing campus in Maysville and gives us an inside look.
Hard to find something that you could replace it.
Matthew Hess is the founder of the University of Health and Performance. Not only is Hess the founder, but he's also a veteran. Hess served in the Army and struggled to find himself after returning.
Serving your country and fighting with each other, alongside each other, it's such a powerful, unique gift, and then it's gone when you get out.
Hess says that he spent so much time trying to find his purpose because all he had was the mission in the Army.
Once you've been touched by that gift of serving and how that feels, it's hard to find something that you could replace it.
So Hess and other veterans found a way to fill that void by serving in other ways.
My purpose is to assist my fellow veterans however I can.
John Wayne Troxell spent 1 month shy of 38 years serving for the United States Army. Troxell retired as the senior listed advisor for the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, which is the senior listed position in the entire U.S. Armed Forces. And now Troxell's found his purpose at the University of Health and Performance.
I focus my whole life now on how do I give back to my fellow veterans and how do I pay it forward to the men and women that are in uniform now.
And Troxell is doing just that, working alongside founder Matthew Hess. They are sharing their story in hopes that other veterans can answer the question.
How do you find purpose after the military? How do you translate that purpose into something awesome that you love to do and also allows you to still feel like you serve?
And that's just what they are doing, finding a purpose for veterans beyond the uniform.
That was our Kylie Neal reporting. Hess says the University of Health and Performance is the only veteran service university in the country to help service veterans find their path. Now, if you're a veteran seeking guidance and helping hands alongside other veterans, you can find more information on our website, knwa.com. Honoring the men and women who served and made the ultimate sacrifice during the Vietnam War. We'll show you how the Wall That Heals is giving Vietnam veterans a chance to see a renowned memorial up close and personal when we come back. Welcome back. The Wall That Heals is a traveling replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall.
It gives our Vietnam vets a chance to see that wall up close and personal without having to travel to the nation's capital. Now, recently, it was in Covington, Virginia. Jermaine Farrell shows us the tribute to the veterans who attended.
I remember, I came home from the Persian Gulf and my father and family are there, and I see him on the pier, and I'm looking going, where were you when he came home? And they never got it, and it's just bothered me, and throughout the years, I kept trying to find a way to honor him and the other Vietnam veterans that never got the homecoming that they so deserved.
That was the motivation for VFW Post 1033 Commander Sean Wright. With Wright's effort and the drive of the Allegheny Highlands community, the dream is now a reality. Not only is the Wall That Heals in place, there's a mobile education center which educates visitors about the Vietnam War. The Wall That Heals, which is 375 feet in length and bears the names of more than 58,000 men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in Vietnam, is transported from community to community. It's been around since 1996, and a tribute honors more than the 3 million Americans who served in the U.S. Armed Forces during the Vietnam War. The Vietnam veterans there, as well as their families, appreciate the opportunity to see the replica wall.
I think it's really great to be here. I mean, we are really fortunate to have something this magnitude come to our little community. And it speaks well of all the people that's here today that came out. And it's just a tribute to the veterans, in my opinion.
That's what we're here for, is to help those Vietnam veterans let go, open up, share, and move on to know they're not by themselves.
That's Jermaine Farrell reporting now. According to the VA's Office of Research and Development, around 2.7 million American men and women served in Vietnam, and more than 58,000 lives were lost. That's our time for now. We thank you so much for watching.
And of course, a big thank you and happy Veterans Day to our local veterans and their families.